All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Meadows Place City Council regular meeting agenda, Tuesday, September 28, 2021 at 6:33. We have a quorum. Everyone is in attendance, and we're glad. Item A is Pledge Allegiance and Invocation. Tonight's pledge will be by Terry Henley, and our invocation will be by Alderman David Murphy.
Yep. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for tonight. We thank you that we can gather and do this business of the city of Meadows. Lord, we ask that you give us wisdom and insight, and that we act according to your will. We ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Terry. Thank you, David. Now we're moving on to item B, which is reports. As per our protocol, the police department will go first. Tonight we're honored to have Assistant Chief Jack Ashton here to give the report, as he ran the chief off for something. I'm not sure. Jack, thank you very much.
Mayor, council, citizens, thank you. The first part that we will go over is your spreadsheet, which is our tally from the last council meeting up until yesterday. Number of reportable accidents were 10. Number of arrests were 19. Calls for service, 1,987. Number of reports, 41. Citations issued, 399 with 681 charges. 0 issued for city ordinance violations. Warnings for traffic, 165 citations issued for a total of 266 charges. 10 warnings issued for city ordinance violations, which gave us a total activity count of 3,014. Continuing to move down the sheet, which gives us a little more detail about our activity. Assaults, we had 2. Burglary of motor vehicles, we had 4. Burglary of business, we had 0. Burglary of residence, we had 0. City ordinance violations, 10. And that's just for the police department. Criminal mischief, we had 2. Fraud, we had 1. Robbery were 0. Property checks, the chief thought this was a little bit better to just consolidate all of the different checks into one total number. So 721 property checks, which includes the business checks, close patrol, house watches, school checks, and other close patrols. Thefts, we had 10. UUMV, which is unauthorized use of motor vehicle, we had 3. And the TLC program, we had a low contact count, but we had 10 that passed and 6 that failed for 16 contacts. As you can see, though, that we were a little busy with some of the other activity. Some of the information in our city ordinance warning breakdown, we had 3 for solicitors, 2 for junk or abandoned vehicles, 4 for noise complaint, and 1 for trash. There were no city ordinance violation citations issued. We had 10 reportable accidents, 1 of which was in the roundabout, and we also had an 18-wheeler trying to turn from Dorrance to Kirkwood that drove over some of the landscaping and a sign.
From Dorrance on to Kirkwood?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Every once in a while, one manages to slip by us on.
Is it a car carrier or like a?
Do you remember? I don't believe so, sir. Actually, I think it might have been eastbound on Dorrance approaching Kirkwood, okay, if I remember correctly. It wasn't our normal activity.
Right. Okay. Somebody like a furniture hauler or something?
Yes, sir. But the officers did get the information, and they may have already gotten it to Courtney. And then going into your packet, that I'm going to turn to the arrest section because the arrest will cover many of the things that were the actual calls in detail in there for you. There are several things of note to go over. 19 arrests, you can see by looking at your spreadsheet, is up considerably from our norm. That in our arrest we had evading motor vehicle. Officer Ibarra was attempting to conduct a traffic stop for no front license plate, and they decided that they were going to run from the police and ended up getting caught up somewhere around Dairy Ashford and Highway 90, jumped out and ran. By then, Sugar Land was on the scene with us, and we're able to take them into custody. The second arrest that you see on there, the possession of controlled substance, some of these I highlighted because it's just an example of the undesirables that we have coming into and through the city, and what a great job the guys are doing, and why traffic enforcement is so important. But possession of controlled substance, this started with Officer Foster initiating a traffic stop, no license plate light. Officer Foster's on the midnight shift, so that's something that stands out. And conducting his investigation, detecting odor of marijuana, he locates heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamine along with the marijuana. But we can't charge for marijuana, so we took them for the big stuff. There you have a warrant from another jurisdiction. Turning to your next page, that you see we have flock hit, stolen vehicles, several of those. One of the things to point out, though, that there are a few flaws, that we had been getting a flock hit for stolen vehicle for getting the hit many times over several weeks. The guys finally located the car over at Senior Village and determined that it was a son who was staying with a dad that was actually the resident there. Now, what's interesting about this is when they finally caught the car moving and somebody in it, it was an elderly lady. Turns out a car was stolen. They took the plates off of her car and put on the stolen car, put the stolen plates on her car, which was the one coming into Meadows. So, yes, we recovered stolen plates, did not recover the stolen car. The car that was stolen was a fugitive that was interested enough for the Gulf Coast Task Force to come out and sit on the house for a day or two. Unfortunately, we didn't have the right car. Continuing on, you see another warrant arrest. You also see one of several DWIs. We have a criminal mischief, assault on a public service. This was our fella that was running about with no clothes and didn't want to hop in the car with the police right away. But they were able to, Officer Manna and Officer Ibarra were eventually able to get him detained and help him to Fort Bend County as well. Another warrant arrest. There's a DWI, another warrant arrest. And the thing to see is that we have lots of people coming through our fair city that we would rather bypass us. We have another evading motor vehicle, another one that jumped out and in possession of, I believe they had fake IDs. Yes, possession of false identifying documents, both a Hispanic male and female, and both of which were taken to jail. The next one down, we have tampering with a government record and a warrant from another agency that Officer Foster was traffic stop. Showed that for registration, had a felony warrant, and in him conducting his investigation, found out that both the driver and the everything okay?
Well, that's a nice little daytime. Bet you turn it off next time.
So both the driver and passenger were taken to Fort Bend County. We have a couple of more of other agency warrants, and then we have Officer Foster conducting a traffic stop that was displaying multiple different license plates. In conducting his investigation, he was able to locate some drugs in there. It's another drug arrest. And then I believe your last one is another DWI arrest. So as you can see, it was quite active this month, just in arrest alone. I did skip over the one I wanted to mention, the porch pirate. So UPS or FedEx delivered a generator to a resident, left it on their porch. Mere minutes later, it was picked up by an individual. The theft was caught on a Ring doorbell. The detectives got the video, were able to get a license plate of the suspect vehicle. Detective Mezzagabe followed up with a phone call to the suspect's sister, and without alerting them, he was able to convince them that there was a government check waiting for him at City of Meadows Place. He quickly came, and we gave him a free ride to Fort Bend County Jail. Yeah, when he gets released, he will, yes. So, I have to give Detective Mezzagabe his due. He is quite convincing, and I'm sure they were speaking the same lingo. Going into your additional notes packet, the chief has always leaves in there that we are still in our COVID prevention practices, especially as the scale seems to go up and down. And that a couple of weeks ago, we had a little scare because we had several people on our side as well that were out. Fortunately, everybody is healthy and got returned pretty quick. A reminder, National Night Out is next Tuesday, that we will be out and about from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., and that the list right now has 4 confirmed parties that Madonna will be making contact with previous.
Yeah. Are you going to go to National Night Out? Should bring them.
Has everyone RSVP'd to Madonna? Well, I know some of you RSVP'd right away, but yeah, so we will be out and about. And Larry and Beverly Martin have already confirmed they were first on our list. So, live scan, I know we've been reporting on this forever, and we finally, last week, got the signed mutual aid agreement back from Harris County with the sheriff and county judge and DPS's signature. Now, IDEMIA, the vendor, has agreed to do our programming and training, and we are number 4 on the list, which puts us approximately 8 weeks out. Right now, we're hoping to have it in service through the holidays, realistically.
Fantastic.
The ATV and flock grants, I know the chief has mentioned those. We are just simply waiting on the recipient agreement that they have not said anything, but we're hoping October is the month for that. Shop 39, which is our newest Tahoe, they took it to the shop yesterday for the build, so we hope to have it back 3 to 4 weeks. Say a little prayer that everything goes well with that.
Dang, that takes a long time.
The freeze mitigation with FEMA, I wanted to leave that in there. as the chief has mentioned, Anna Maria and I take turns calming each other down after talking with FEMA. I think we have made some progress with them. T-Cole, I couldn't remember when I talked to the chief, but he wanted to assure everybody that everybody had met their mandatory training hours and classes, and that October 1st starts the new training cycle. So the chief was very happy that he didn't get any notices from T-Cole about people that were missing hours or classes. And then a quick update on recruiting and hiring. We got today the psychological paperwork we needed for our candidate who is ready for the chief to make a conditional job offer to. I believe that he's going to make a point to come in sometime this week simply to make the conditional job offer so we can get moving with that applicant. And that should give us, within a week or 10 days, an officer to get suited up and into the training program. We have received approximately 5 other applications for the patrol and sergeant positions. 2 of them are very promising and are moving swiftly through the background process, which is a good sign. And then we also have 3 part-time dispatchers that are ready to be made offers to. I don't know if the chief mentioned last time, but one of them went out on maternity leave and has decided to stay out. So we were down one there. One went from dispatch to patrol at the sheriff's department. So we're essentially going to be filling positions that have, through attrition, been vacated. But to give us a little better part-time dispatch staff in the evening. And then one of my own personal comments is about the weather, and to make sure we're still monitoring the weather, that we have Sam, which is a Hurricane 3 that's out there just dancing around, but there's 2 more depressions that have spun up right off of the coast of Africa, which, if you don't know, that's where it seems to start and then come our way. The point being at this is just make sure you're prepared, that you've made all of your arrangements for yourself, your family, pets if you have them, and then those of you who are subject to be called in, that you have your go bag with you and ready to go. And that concludes the report.
First of all, Jack, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I think it was a good report. And I really appreciate it. I would like to say one thing, that we had Meadows Place had their rolling billboard down in Richmond for the Fort Bend County Fair. This was an unusual year, and I'm really, really tickled that we were represented. And I appreciate it. And I know that we had a good driver there, and at least he didn't hit any horses or anything. But no, it was very important. And as he was stating, he waved to people, said hi, and all that kind of good stuff, and had his parade waved down. But I want to thank the chief, even though he's not here, yourself, and everybody involved in getting that down there and getting plugged into that parade. They filled up with spots, but we were there, and they put us in. And I think that goes to say our police department is well respected amongst law enforcement agencies in the county, and they were tickled to see it down there too. I have from comments that I got. So thank you very much for that.
Yes, sir.
Council, anybody have any questions or comments for Assistant Chief Adjutant?
Just a comment. I just wanted to say congratulations to you and your staff this month with 19 arrests, and knowing that you guys were in quarantine and COVID lockdown, a big part of that, and short staffed. It was a record month, so good job. Thank you.
Yes, sir. It was the guys out on the street, but we will pass it along to them.
Anyone else? Wow. All right, well, I'll go along with Kurt's thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you all
Yes, sir.
for being out there and looking after us. And I saw an officer going down by that Pender Park, you know, where all the what's that called? The inclusive park, slowing down and waving at some kids that were on the other side of the fence over there, and then just, you know, Jack, that really does a lot to knit the fabric of our community together, and it's obviously. I will have to share one story, though. LT and I were talking out in the parking lot the other day, and about Meadows Place, and she said, you know, she said, you know, it's so funny when we stop people, and they go, I told you not to go through Meadows Place. I knew you shouldn't have gone through there. And we had a great laugh with that. But more importantly, it's true information. And those people, meaning the bad guys, know it. And when they come through, sometimes it costs them. And I got real tickled at the LT saying, yep, it's funny to listen to them when one of them's in the driver's side and one of them's getting hollered at. So anyway, y'all keep up the good work and make them want to avoid it completely.
Okay, Jack. Also let the chief know the kids love the police officers being at baseball this weekend. It was opening weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And they came out and handed out the stickers and all.
I will most certainly pass it on to
And if they see them practicing in the evening, they can stop, you know, and the kids love it.
Yep.
Is there an approximate time that they're out there?
No, she's talking about during the week practice.
During the week practice.
Got a time?
Okay. Just pull over, say hi to them. The
Yep.
kids love it.
Or drive by and go, whoop, whoop, just as the pitcher's getting ready to pitch. Thank you.
We will.
Thank you.
Kelly, thank you for saying something about that. That's good. All right, item number 2 is code enforcement. Jennifer Cabello was get up and speak to us about all the enforcement she's been doing.
Good evening, Council. So for this quarter, you'll see on your first page there the total violations per month I've placed there for your viewing. For July, we have 153 different violations. August, we had 108. September, we had 84. Out of those closed violations in July were 198, August 184, and September 129, which bring the totals at the bottom there for the open cases, for the open violations, 345, and the closed violations, 511. If you look down on the very bottom there, there's a notation. I'm going to go over that on the next, on the 4th page. So let's go ahead and look at the cases opened. July was 75, August was 77, September was 51, and the total number opened was 203. Cases closed for July was 117, August 136, September 80, with a total of 333 cases closed. Cases to court in July were 2, August were 5, September was 5 as well, for a total of 12. We go to the second page, you'll see the different violations incurred in this time frame. The top ones really were the grass and weeds in the excess of 9 inches, or 41. Dead landscaping and trees, or 35. Trash cans, rubbish, recycle bins visible from the street were 30. Improper clearance of trees. That's primarily trees, but it's also including shrubs there. It's 29. Bandit signs was 21. And grass and weeds in the cracks of the concrete were 19. And of course, you'll see the next one is trash next to curb, not the trash day. That's 16. And it goes down to the end of the page and the next one as well.
Jennifer, I appreciate this, but I'm going to let council read down to the bottom, but I want to ask you, is there anything here that stands out that we should be aware of?
That we should be aware of?
Yeah, or that you want to make sure that we're aware of?
Well, I'm going to go through the improper clearance of trees. There's a large amount in the city. I did, and you're going to see that in the notations in the pages
But
following.
Before we get off of page 1 here,
Yes.
let me ask you about unsanitary swimming pools. Even though we had a day and a half of not freezing weather, but colder, cooler weather, there's still a lot of mosquitoes out there. And these pools are a huge breeding spot for them. We had 3 that we treated with unsanitary, state of disrepair, et cetera. Are we looking after those, or are you making sure the homeowners are? How's that working?
The homeowners are, with the exception of one, which is, and that's, I would have to probably get a warrant to go on property to do that.
Why would you have to do that? It's a health safety issue.
Technically, I cannot step foot in the backyard without the warrant.
Well, then get a police officer and go in there and let's throw some pucks in there. It's what we have to do. Y'all figure this out, but if we know that there's a pool that's a potential health hazard, I don't want to sit down there and talk about it a month later and put it on a report, Jennifer. I don't mean to be harsh, but that needs to be done that day. When we find it, we've got West Nile next to us. We've got Zika next to us in Sugar Land. I mean, these things are hitting here, and we need to do everything we can. I'm going to, again, remind Tom to put something down. That's when we start into mosquito season again. 95% of the city's problems with mosquitoes are from private property. But a big part of those breeders are from pools. You've seen them down there, those little larvae things
Yes.
getting ready to kill me. So let's jump on that.
Yes,
okay?
sir. Okay.
And if we have an issue with going on there or something like that from city code ordinance, y'all talk it over, but figure out a way. Okay, would you? Thanks. Okay, Jennifer. I want to
Okay.
interrupt you for a
You
minute
can.
now.
It's okay. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go through to the next page after the list of violations, which is the code enforcement violation flow chart. This was something that the mayor and I worked on, and it was actually published onto our website in the beginning of August. Quite simply, this is the flow of a case, and that would be either I am given a complaint and I create a case here in the system and I go out and inspect it, or I'm out in the field and I see a violation and I create a case. After that, once the case is created, I will go ahead and, with the revamping of the method of operation, we wanted to make sure that the residents understood the violations that they were incurring. And one way was for me to go ahead and make sure I made contact in person each time. So that is one of the things that has changed. I've actually gone out and every case since this has been put online, I've gone to every single door, knocked on the door, try to make contact with the homeowner or the resident to let them know what's going on. With me, I have a yellow door hanger, which you'll see, which is, I believe, the next page. Yes. So that yellow door hanger I will have with me. If they answer the door, I will, of course, explain to them what the violations that they have are and give them that so they can have reference to it. Of course, after that's done, I will let them know as well that they are going to receive something in the mail. So a reiteration of what was said that day. So when the inspection dates come around, I will go ahead and wait until the day after or whenever it's available when I'm available to go out, shortly after, to reinspect. Once I reinspect and it is in compliance, or the violations are in compliance, the case is closed. If it's not in compliance, at that point, it goes into the cases, go into court, and they'll be handled through the judge. And with this flow chart you see, it's pretty simple and direct as to what I've just told you, what's going to occur. You'll see the notice of violation issued, code inspections. If it's compliant, it's closed. If it's not, it goes into court. The special notations there is that the resident is the one that is going to be responsible for showing the judge or jury, whatever they choose, to show that they're in compliance at that time. Okay, and of course, we've put on there the code enforcement fines per violation, so they can have that understanding as well.
Council, that was all cleaned up after we had a discussion that night, and I think Jennifer's done a great job of laying it out here and making it clean and simple and easy. And there's not, and I think there was one. I think Rick was really, and David maybe both were adamant about going out after the comply by dates. Okay, and that's if I'm to be inspected on the 1st, or if it's up on the 1st. She's not even thinking about it until the 2nd or after. So,
I'm thankful for that. One thing I feel like we might need to say is on the letter it says violations must be corrected by that date. Saying somewhere on there, Jennifer will go out and inspect after that date, shortly after. I know it's on the flow chart, but who's going to go to the website and look at that? Not many. But on that letter, somehow state that. That was the question we get a lot from homeowners is, do I have to call every time and say, hey, it's taken care of? No, she's going to go by and take a look at it after that date. So if there's a way to add that in, that'll reduce the number of calls I get.
I think the other thing is that if they don't get it corrected by that date and it goes to court, they can still fix it and avoid the fine if the judge agrees, but they will not avoid the court costs. And I think that's understood the way this is, and hopefully they'll understand, because that's part of what I'm sure conversation you have with them is, hey, you've got 10 days to get this. If you don't get it taken care of, you'll get a citation. At that point, Jennifer's out of the loop. It's
right. And that's the whole thing, because she'd have 5 people up here talking to her while she's walking from there to here. It's when Jack's guys and gals write a ticket, that's done. Yep. They don't get to come and hammer them, meet them up at HEB and say, hey, I fixed my tree. No, that's the whole process, is to settle it out and just handle it in a more rhythmic manner and consistent manner. Mm-hmm.
And if I may say, Kurt, I have had that question also when I started doing this on every single case that's created now. And I've learned to go ahead and state that in there as well, that when the comply by date comes, I will come by afterwards, after that date, to reinspect. So you don't have to email me any photos. You don't have to call me. Just rest assured it's going to be done. If it's in compliance, case will be closed. If not, it will go to court. So, and I still do have people now that I'm telling them that. I don't know if that triggers something in them. They send me the photos now more. I'm going, okay.
They want to know.
I still go check though.
Yeah, because that's the question I've gotten a lot, or it came up on social media. Huh. So, yeah. Thank you, and thanks again. This is a great report. Thank you for all the hard work you're doing. I do have a quick question for you.
Sure.
What does window installed electrical mechanical devices prohibited? Is that a window unit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is that not allowed anywhere on the home or just on the front?
Not on the front, anywhere that can be seen from the street.
Okay.
So it can be on the back side of the property, or even maybe even a side window that's covered by the fence and you can't see it. But once you see it from the street, it's not allowed.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. And then how are things going with rental permits? I know that was something you were working on, finding houses that are rentals that don't have a permit for that.
And that goes through investigating the case itself. It's not something I'm saying, okay, I'm going to look today for rentals. It's just basically finding addresses where the homeowner, when it pops up in the system, resides at another address. So then I can go investigate through my way of finding out whether there's permits on that or not. And if there's not, then I'll address it as well.
Okay, good deal. No, I know that was something you'd been doing, so I'm
Yes, sir.
thankful for that too.
Yes, sir.
I have a comment. One, thank you for your report. It's very thorough. I think every time that you present, it looks better and better. So thank you for that. The other question was, so on your flow chart, when you get to case closed, and this is just a question, does the homeowner get any notification that the case is closed? Do they know it's closed, or it just simply goes away? How does that?
No,
how
there
does
is no notification. What I'm making a practice of is saying to them when I go out and inspect if it is in compliance, then the case will be closed.
that go? Yeah.
So
Okay.
at this point, there's nothing.
I was just curious.
Yes.
And then the other one is on here before, when you go back to re-inspect, the homeowner has an opportunity to contact you if they need more time, correct?
Absolutely. Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
And you'll notice on the notice of violation, her phone number is highlighted. That's the way it is when she hands it out, every time.
Yes.
I
do that
exactly what I wanted to see. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's great. This is good.
All right. Now, to the last page of what I have here, I got some kind of tree clearance for council 3D compliant, et cetera. What is this?
Okay. So as you can see, that the theme here is the improper clearance of trees for the violation for the notice for the door hanger. This right here is just a simple map of what I use on my day-to-day inspections. But this one is particularly focused on the tree cases that I've had. The 30 that are compliant, or as you can see, filled in, and the 5 that are open or semi-filled in. I know that there is, as you can see, 165 that I've visually seen that you can tell that they are below 16 feet over the street or 10 feet over the sidewalk. But there's just not enough time in the day to get all of these as quick as I'd like to. So I'm addressing them as.
So what is
as much
this
as I
map
can.
telling me, Jennifer? I got confused.
This map tells us the tree clearance cases that are in the Comcate system, 30 that are
Which is
compliant.
165.
No, there's 30 that are compliant and 5 cases that are still open, waiting for their inspection. And I'm imagining there's probably the one next to us right here, which has the trees on Troy Ann and on Kirkwood. They're probably going to be asking for an extension, which I've let them know that,
I would
of
think
course,
so.
the process with that many trees, I understand. Just let me know in advance and I can extend it however long they need it. So this 165 is what I've gone out in through the city and visually noticed the trees they're obviously lower than that 16 foot. And I do have another map, which I'm not going to show you because it's really messy, but that's the areas that I have found where they are like that. So I have a reference point to go back.
All right. Anybody else got anything for Jennifer? You can go home. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And I appreciate you working on the weekends too. I know it's been effective.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and for the report that everybody waits on, the fire department report. We have had a total of 31 incidents this last reporting period. Rescue and emergency medical were 75% of them, or 74.19%. Okay, and there's a breakdown on there of how it is, with significantly over half of them being EMS calls. Again, I am so happy to have EMS here. We've got some false alarms. We've got one mischievous false alarm. I don't know how they know that is there. I need to ask. My apologies for not knowing the answer. But all the rest of them are your standard things with reporting out to by the fire department, to EMS, or both, right here in Meadows Place with Nate. I was looking for something and I can't find it, so never mind. With that, council, I'm moving on unless you have any questions, and I can try to find it. That's actually a low number, so I'm happy. Moving on to City Administrator's report. Nick Havey, City Administrator. He's going to give us a great report.
Thanks, Mayor. First, I want to acknowledge Chief Ashton and Anna Maria for taking one for the team and getting with FEMA. I know that's a tough process. I've been there. And I want to acknowledge them publicly for the record, Courtney, that they've done a great job at working through that labyrinth. Hopefully it'll bear fruit, but if it doesn't, I understand.
That's an accurate word for that, isn't it?
Which one?
Labyrinth.
It is a labyrinth. It is a labyrinth. But they're working hard, and I know they are, and there's usually on days when I see Anna Maria walking down the hall and her shoulders are lowered, I know she just got off the phone with FEMA. And so I want to acknowledge y'all's work on that because I know it's tough. And Anna Maria may or may not be listening at home. So one of the things that we do after hurricanes, and after Nicholas we did this, is we do what's called an after-action review. We get together as a staff and we talk about what happened and kind of debrief on the storm. One of the things that came out of this I want to let you guys know of is, as you may know, during a storm, whether we have partial or full activation of our EOC, we do have some employees that are labeled as essential personnel. That is, people that have to ride out the storm here at City Hall. We also have, obviously, employees that aren't, and they are the ones that evacuate. It became pretty clear that we need to do a good job as staff of making sure that those employees know who they are. And so what we've done is we've come up with an essential personnel acknowledgement form that essentially they sign, and it gives them very clear direction on this is what happens in the event of a hurricane. And so those employees that are expected to stay behind do sign that form so that they know very clearly that these are their roles. There is associated NIMS training, National Incident Management System training associated with that role so they can be in the EOC. And so we want to make sure they have that training as well. But I just want to let you guys know that we're trying to get ahead of that and making sure that all employees know what they're supposed to do in the event of a hurricane. Because as you know, when the hurricane's on your doorstep, it's not a good time to talk about who stays and who goes. So that's enough about that. Lastly, I want to mention that in the Parks Arena, the Nature Center is closed this week. They are doing some renovation and rehab of the Nature Center itself. They're painting and rehabbing the floors.
It is going to be great.
It's going to be
I
great.
urge everybody to go see it when it opens up.
All of the animals have been relocated over next door to the Discovery Center. I've been told that the active adults will still meet over there. However, they'll just be doing their activities next to the animals. So it's going to be good. It'll be reopened next week on the 5th. And that completes my report tonight.
So if the Club 55 meets over there, it's going to be kind of like in the middle of Rainforest Cafe.
I was over there today, and I heard someone say, "Where's the tarantula?" And I went ahead and excused myself. So.
I want to say one thing. I was very impressed with the after-action review. I appreciate your synopsis and the way we did it. Very professional. Moving on, Mayor's Council and comments. My first comment's on National Night Out, and it's actually National Night Out Texas, because we're the only people having it in August. That aren't having it in August. We have it in October. Why? Texas is smarter. It is from 6 to 8. I encourage everybody here in the audience, all of you, and all of those watching and listening to participate in National Night Out. I know Rick's got some business that he's going to be with from the city and won't be there. It'll be your first time to miss in forever. And Tia, I understand. I forget you hang around with the muckety muck and you get obligated up there. We understand. This is important. It's a fun thing. And Captain Ashton, if you would ask Madonna to kind of keep us posted as we get people registering.
We will be sending out the next Thursday afternoon.
Perfect. And if you would, are you going to be here in the morning? If you could stop over to visit with Tom and I sometime after 9 o'clock, and you just walk in and interrupt us, I'd like to sit down and have him go over what we're planning to do for National Night Out. Shouldn't take 5 minutes. I want to make sure we get everything out we can, okay? All right, thank you. Next thing I want to talk about is the Fort Bend County Fair. I touched base a little earlier. We did have one of our, as the chief calls them, our rolling billboards riding in the parade. One of the things that, and I'm sorry, I didn't comment on this, but I was told by the officer who rode in the parade, and Captain Ashton, or Assistant Chief Ashton, you'll appreciate this. Wow, Meadows has the most lights of all of them. They look great. So it
Thank you, sir.
made him feel good, and made me feel good too. But we're out there. The Fort Bend County Fair is a tradition here in Fort Bend County. They did have Fair Day, and they did let the schools out, so I was really thrilled about that. And it's something that they gave out last year, $185,000 in scholarships to students. That fair is about fun, fellowship, and funding scholarships. So when you go out there, eat another deal of cotton candy, have some kettle corn, and well, wait till, don't ride in front of me. But anyway, it's a national county fair that's well known throughout the state of Texas, and we need to go out and support it wherever we can. Item C, Meadows Place Fall Festival and Bazaar is on October 16th. Check out our Facebook page and the website for more details, but I want to point out that this thing's going to be fun. We got a whole lot going on. And on the 16th, the Home Rule Charter Commission is going to have a pop-up out there. If you have any questions and you can't get to the meeting on the 12th, and I urge everybody to come to that, I'll talk in a second, go by and visit them at the 16th at the Charter, at the Bazaar. That's also, and it's from 10 to 2, and the Garden Club, Meadows Place Home and Garden Club is going to be out there and have their craft fair, and they're going to have it out in the park area rather than the community center this year. So that's going to be a change. Turn out and support them, buy something, because that also goes to fund their scholarship programs. So you can go pick up some first class yard art or whatever you want and help a kid at the same time. We will be going, council, on different days, the 5th through the 9th, to the TML annual conference. Rick's been around a bunch of them, and he still goes, and he knows who to talk to and what to do, and he's impacted. We have in the audience tonight past President Terry Henley. Raise your hand so we know who you are. There you go. But David, this is your first time. And I encourage you to do everything you can, scan the data ahead of time. I always lay mine out of what I can go through. And I like to talk with the other council members, because I don't need to go to the same thing you're going, and Kurt's going to be there when we could cover 3 different items, because we'll have a recap after. Okay?
The TML conference is where we have a lot of information, we learn a lot, and there's a lot of training going on and aimed and targeted for the cities. And they'll have things like hold on a minute. But they'll have things like legal Q&A, which got there, and then they'll have things for small cities. If they have anything like that, David, those will be some of them you may want to clue into. And then item E is proposed charter town hall meeting. That is the 12th at 6:30. To everybody in here and to everybody out there, ask everybody you know to come. We made a contingency if we should fill this place up, what we're going to do. But this is important, and this is where we're going to have an opportunity to come in and talk directly to the Home Rule Charter Committee chairman and one other to ask any questions that you may have to see why we should consider it or not. But this will be the opportunity. So please attend, ask your questions. If not, you can send it in on the website or ask a question or go to the charter and click and access us there or send Courtney an email. We got all kind of info, a way to come in here.
What was the time again, Mayor?
6:30. You want to have a seat? Well, you got a seat, doesn't matter. Oh no, we'll be sitting in the audience. Council isn't running this show. I forgot. I'm going to get back there where James is sitting and get a comfy chair.
I just had one comment on the TML conference.
All right, Terry, why don't you share with us about the TML conference?
Okay, well, yeah. I was with Bennett last week, and it's been the largest registration in history. Since we didn't have a regular conference last year, people are wanting to get out. It will be very well attended. There will be some excellent, training courses. As Charlie mentioned, there's a lot of small city, different discussions going on, which is very beneficial to all of us, and certainly beneficial for the legal question and answer. There's always very good, sessions there. So there's many sessions, and I'll be down there all week. So, I'll see you down there. Okay. That was it. Basically, just okay.
So you heard it here first. Largest registration ever. So LJAs better step up their game. Pardon me while I jot that down. Terry, thank you so much for sharing that. All right, moving on to council comments. All the councilmen that signed up for this, go ahead.
Not a lot to report on Dorrance. We do have a change order for their contract tonight so that they can help us prepare some drawings for the driveways and coordinate with the property owners along there on how we're going to impact the driveways and get their consent. On the mobility project for the bikeway, we're still waiting on CenterPoint to get back with us on the route analysis for where they want our trail as well as where the 20-inch gas line is going to be put. And then I've been asked by Stafford's EDC to come over and talk to them about what the project entails again. Even though they've already funded it and we've got the check, they just want to have some additional questions and comments. We're actually meeting tonight, and I told them it's kind of an important meeting for us to be here, so ask them to schedule a special meeting sometime in the middle of the month.
All right, well, hopefully...
Any questions on either project?
Rick, there was a time frame put forth by CenterPoint. We're still well within that, are we not?
Yeah, they probably have about another 3 weeks or so,
yeah.
if they meet their schedule. Yeah. It might not hurt to send an email just as a follow-up.
Okay. Well, I'm not panicking yet because I knew we weren't stumbling up against the due date, but I think it reminds us.
And we did do a notice proceed for the work that is not in the CenterPoint easement. So some of the sidewalk surveys and stuff will get started.
Outstanding. It's going to be an exciting project and a heck of a feather in the cap for a city of Meadows Place. All right, moving on to item D, regular agenda.
Council, the first three items are a record voice vote, so you will be recording it live as we go. Item number one is discussion and consideration of an ordinance 2021-35 adopting the City of Meadows Place municipal budget for fiscal year 2021-22. And I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve ordinance 2021-35.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Tia,
Second.
second by David.
Now, this is not the one that we have to read the special language.
Whoa, we got to read all three of them special language.
Okay.
And I'm getting ready to do that right now, Rick.
All
Thank you. I will now call upon each member by name. No, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about on the next one. Okay. I will now call on each member by name to take a record vote. Once your name is called, answer aye to signify your approval or of the motion, or nay to signify your disapproval. Say it loudly so Courtney can hear it. Councilmember Baker, state your vote.
Well, are we did you ask for any discussion?
I did.
Okay.
Did you not discuss?
I just wanted to make sure.
I thought we were discussed this to death. Sorry. Okay, we got an aye. Councilmember Mills.
Aye.
Councilmember Stagley.
Aye.
Councilmember Kopczynski.
Aye.
Councilmember Mertens.
Aye.
You spend a lot of money.
Aye.
All right, everyone was here, so we can skip there. This motion is carried, and we will move on to the next item on the agenda. The next item on the agenda is to ratify the property tax increase reflected in the 2021-2022 budget adopted September 28, 2021, a couple minutes ago. Council, this is something that we have to do when there's a tax increase, whether it be $1 or $1 million. So I need a motion to ratify the tax increase of 1.166% reflected in municipal budget for the fiscal year adopted on September 28, 2021. And that comes to the amount of, by the way, $54,935. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by, was that Kurt? Motion by Kurt. Looking for a second.
Second. Oh, whatever.
Somebody. Okay, Tia. Okay. Any discussion on this ratification? All right. All in favor? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I got anxious. Councilmember Baker, state your vote.
Aye.
Councilmember Mills, state your vote.
Aye.
Councilmember Stagley, state your vote. Councilmember Kopczynski, state your vote.
Aye.
Councilmember Mertens, state your vote.
Aye.
Everyone's here, so the motion carried, and let's move on to the next item. Now, this is where we adopt the tax rate. So this is discussion and consideration of ordinance 2021-36, providing a property tax rate for the levy and correct collection of the ad valorem taxes by the City of Meadows Place, Texas, for the year 2021. So I need a motion and a second to approve ordinance 2021-36, providing property tax rate for the levy and collection of the ad valorem taxes by the City of Meadows Place to the year 2021, and that, I'm sorry. Well, I was getting ready to. And that tax rate is, and it's a familiar number to all of us, 0.832 per hundred. Do I have a second? Or do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Motion by David. Second. Thank you, Rick. Second by Rick. Any discussion on the tax rate?
Just as a reminder, this is all under O&M. There is no debt to serve. We are paid off.
I'm sorry. There's no debt to serve in here? What a wonderful city. Okay, we've had a motion and a second. I will now call on each member and take by name to take the record vote. Councilmember Baker, state your vote.
Aye.
Councilmember Mills, state your vote.
Aye.
Councilmember Stagley, state your vote. Councilmember Kopczynski, state your vote.
Aye.
Councilmember Mertens, state your vote. All right, motion carried, and we will now move on to the next item on the agenda, and Anna Maria can now relax. Okay, we are now moving on to a discussion and consideration of ordinance 2021-37, approving the City of Meadows Place Economic Development Corporation fiscal year budget as adopted by the Board of Directors at its September 10th meeting. Council, we have a little bit of discussion that goes on. Do I need to get a motion in a second first? Yeah, I think I do. I was going to give some background, but we're going to do this. If I can have a motion in a second, we'll hit the discussion hard here as soon as we can. Motion by Rick.
Second.
Second by Kurt. Okay. And if you'll look at your paperwork, you will see the EDC budget. And mine is printed upside down. So the total expenditures going in for the EDC budget is as listed at $23,410, which is down 4.8% from last year. However, there were after the fact, after the EDC passed their budget, there was a budget request by baseball. Baseball, correct me, whoever was there, I was exploring a cave, I wasn't here. There was a request by baseball for $10,000 scoreboard, which after some conversation, they upped it to $15,000. And it needed to be added here. And from what I understand, and I talked to Bob, it was Graff president, he said it was unanimous that all the EDC supported upping the budget by $15,000. And it must be okay because Terry's giving a thumbs up. So we need to, and Nick, I'm going to ask for a little professional assistance on this one. Do we need to amend the budget or how do we do this here? Or can we just say we want to add $15,000 in that total and then vote on it?
No, you need to go ahead and itemize what line item you want to put the additional 15 on. You do have a motion and a second to approve the budget, so you'd need an amendment to go ahead and add 15,000. I think, and Terry, Tia, Kurt, remind me, but I think the line item you guys had talked about increasing would be that parks line item.
Correct. Yes.
So at this time it's at 50. So the idea would be to go from 50 to 65.
Correct.
So we would be looking to amend the budget on that line item, whatever that number is.
Right.
From $50,000 to $65,000. Council square on that? Okay, I'm going to take a moment right here since I got the president of baseball and council members and another EDC member here. We have a situation here where we've got too many chiefs walking around making decisions and putting out things for consideration. We're putting pressure on staff and we're causing them heartburn because we're not following protocol. They're talking about putting a scoreboard out in our park. And you got to remember, that's a park with a baseball field in it. It's not a baseball complex with a park around it. And we've got people that have to look over after everything, including that scoreboard. And we got a perfect example out there, and for some reason I understand that scoreboard is going to be mechanical. Is that correct? Okay, so it is electric. Okay. There's a lot, and nobody's taken that to parks yet and talked to them about it. And nobody's talked about getting electrical line run through our public works department. Those are the people that are doing this. it's probably a good idea to include them. Now, we can go ahead and pass this addition, but I'm going to say we can't move forward like this. I mean, it's like, you know, being rude to a waiter right before he brings you his food. You know, there's no telling how it's going to end up. We want this thing to move smooth. I went out and talked with those guys that are doing the other field, that are going to be doing the majors field. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm real confident that they can go out and do a great job, and our parks and our fields will look great. But, you know, who's going to maintain that scoreboard? Does anybody know?
That's a good question. I was under the impression that it's similar to what we already have, that we have electrical that runs to the scoreboard. James, do you have any thing that you want to include?
First of all, there's already a scoreboard out there. Mm-hmm. We're not adding a scoreboard, we're replacing a non-working scoreboard. The idea, hopefully it'll work out, we just pull out the old one, put up a new one.
Who's pulling the old one out?
Well, we haven't gotten that far yet.
So we don't know. We don't have a plan for that. Okay. Who's going to maintain the new scoreboard?
Baseball league.
Kind of like the one they've got out there that doesn't work, but it didn't work. And so I've got some issues with having faith for baseball to look after that, because what's going to happen, your kids are going to age out. And the next person in, probably Kurt or one of his buddies, will come in there, and then watch out, y'all are going to age out. And it's that next group of folks that are slugs. They're not going to look after it. This stuff all has to be ironed out before anything can happen. Now, I'm all in favor of putting the money in, but I promise you that thing will not go forward until we have some plans. To sit out there and say, hey, we were just replacing that one, that's a little bit laissez-faire to me, because that dang scoreboard hadn't worked for years.
So the parts aren't even made for it. That's why it's not working.
Do what?
The parts aren't made for it anymore. Baseball has tried to find the parts in the past.
And
it's not made. So that's why a new one has to be in place.
So can I make an amendment to the amendment and ask Nick, because we probably need to put some word in here that allocates the money but says the project to move forward will need additional planning?
If we can do that, or we can sit down and baseball can just submit what Parks and Public Works wants. I'm happy with that. Or we can put specific language in. I don't know, David.
Well, what makes this a little bit hairy is the fact that, remember, this is the EDC's budget, right, which is a separate corporation, which is governed by that separate corporation.
Those guys.
So I do think that the decision-making authority for council here stops at actually dedicating
funding.
The money. The decision on when it gets written, when the check gets written, and when we go ahead and buy it really is an EDC decision. So it's really just a question of funding at this point from council.
Terry, hold on. Let me interrupt and ask a question then. Because we're going to start working on the big field sometime December, maybe? I mean, we're hoping to have it done by December, something like that, January? Okay, well, they're going to want a scoreboard up. They're going to want to move forward with it. EDC's not going to tell them to do that. They're just going to want to do it. See, and Parks is more than willing to do it if the funding's there.
It doesn't have to be EDC money.
Is there funding for a scoreboard apart from the EDC?
Well, there might have been.
My understanding is there's not right now.
Well, we don't know.
Okay.
Because we had an estimate of $108,000, we bumped it to $150,000 because the construction costs were skyrocketing, and there may be room in there for a scoreboard. I don't know.
Okay.
But this is gone above and beyond it. Ensure the fact that there's going to be a scoreboard, because it's a little tough to keep score on a Post-it note back there.
Now, EDC has agreed to fund it to make sure they have a scoreboard. But the points you're making are good, because the logistics wasn't completed. We're looking at adding the funds to EDC to provide the funds to do that. But the issues with Public Works and Parks has got to be worked out to make sure all that happens.
Terry, I'm going to
And-
stop you right
okay.
there, because that's exactly right. And all council is doing today is approving the funds. So what we need, we got a motion and a second, and this is where we'd come in with a motion to amend the budget, add $15,000 to that line item. Do I have a motion to do that?
Motion? Or did you motion?
We're looking for a motion to
I've got a
amend.
motion for the amendment.
Got a motion to amend to add $15,000 to Parks line item.
To Parks line
Do I have
item.
a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Kurt. Do I have any more discussion on this amendment?
I've just got a question, because last time this came up, I believe baseball was asked to try to find sponsors, whether that's Healthman Ford, whether it's Walmart, whether it's somebody else, to put their logo on it as advertisement. And I'd like to know what efforts were done, and is there any documentation of that?
We had discussions about that, and in order to get a sponsor that would be willing to do something, we have to go to a full digital display versus a 7-segment LED, and it goes from $5,000 to $20,000. And it just didn't feel like the funds were available to spend that, and hope we'd get a sponsor. It's been discussed, yeah. We discussed it at length in EDC.
No, I'm saying the sponsor would pay for the
I understand what you're saying, yeah.
And Terry, with all due respect, I'm going to ask baseball to answer that question.
Okay.
Yes, we have sponsorship packages. We've upgraded it. Of course, in order to have a sponsor, we need a scoreboard first. So it's kind of like which kind starts the chicken or the egg.
That's not what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. The last scoreboard was paid for by Wallace Bank so that they could put their name on it. They funded the entire thing, as far as I've been told.
Right. Yeah.
And so the question I'm asking is, were any of the local businesses approached saying, we've got an opportunity, we need a new scoreboard, would you fund it, or would you consider funding it if your logo is on it?
Yeah. The short answer is no, we do not have any sponsors named at this point for that.
But was there any effort to get one? Did you send letters? Did you go knock on the doors?
No, we didn't.
I will say that there was discussion at EDC about sponsorships for the scoreboard, that there is a possibility to find sponsors. And that was my question too. If we find sponsors for the scoreboard, what happens to the money? And what we ultimately all kind of talked about was that the money would still go into the fields, whether it went directly or some portion of it went to this. The rest of it would also go to maybe the T-ball fields, or it would be used in some sort of way assuring it would go into fields. The hope is that we would get a sponsor for the sponsor board, is what the discussion was. If not, this is what the money is for. If we find a sponsor, then that is extra money that could help.
I can tell you, you're not going to get a sponsor now. I mean, if we fund this, there's no incentive for baseball to go out and get a sponsor.
What do you think?
I'm talking to some of my baseball contacts right now, and one of them out in Katy says, go try Academy or Dick's. Dick's usually just hands out 20% off coupons. And, of course, I fainted at the $15K price tag. My son hadn't played in a while, obviously. He says average is 10,000, so I guess the 15 isn't too bad. I was thinking y'all were going to go steal the one from the Astrodome or something.
That's the price, as I understand it, that's the price y'all thought it would be, right around $10,000 anyway, didn't you?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah, but I was just shocked when I heard that price, because, D hasn't played in forever. It's like, 10,000. Are they getting the one from the Astrodome with the bull on it that snorts or something? So he said there are companies out there that approach them. Go talk to the manager of Academy.
My point goes, I'm going to have to agree with Rick. I don't have a vote in this. And it's going to be up to council to decide whether we fund this tonight or not.
Got a motion and a second to amend the budget for $15,000. I want to make it a point that we cannot go in there and add $15,000 for a scoreboard because we don't know how much it's going to be. Number one, we don't know what's cost installation, any electrical costs, et cetera. We're going to assume that we can get it done for that, but if we have one and we get it in there for $11,000, that leaves $4,000 that's going to stay in that parks line item. So we're just amending the line item $15,000 with the caveat that we're planning on it being spent for a scoreboard. That's where if we fund that thing, it'll be funded out of that line item. Now, if y'all want more stuff for your field, I go out there and get a sponsor real quick for that scoreboard. That way you got that money floating around there, and I'm sure Parks will give you $8 of it. So we got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of adding $15,000 to the line item? Can you read that line item? 020-543-010. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Okay, one opposed. Rick is opposed to that because of a number of reasons. Now, we go back to the original. Do we want to approve the budget? And we had a motion and a second as amended. We approved the amendment. And now we're approving the budget with the amendment. That's how I see it. Ha! I'm sorry, say that again? I don't get those procedural things right very often. Okay. Original, yes. And we had a motion and a second. Well, that's what we said.
That's what the last.
Yeah. So now we're making a motion, and
They voted to amend the budget, and now they are going to vote to approve the budget as amended.
okay, and we had a motion. We had
But
a
we have a motion to approve the budget, then we had a motion to amend the line. Now we need a motion to approve the amended budget, correct?
Correct.
okay. So, do I have a motion to? Thank you for the amended budget. We had a motion by, was that Tia? That was Kelly. Okay, I should have known. Do I have a second? Oh, I hope I have a second. Oh, thank you, Kurt. Second by Kurt. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion carries unanimously. That was an interesting thing. I can't wait to tell Colleen that her budget got bumped up $15,000. Just like that. Okay. Her line item on the EDC budget, if you want to get technical. Where are we? We are down to item 5, discussion consideration of resolution 2021-25, authorizing the mayor to negotiate contract amendment number 1, not to exceed $4,475 with HDR Engineering to provide an additional design phase services for the Dorrance Lane reconstruction project. You want to educate us on any of this, Rick, or we just move ahead on with it?
I already kind of discussed it. It's for the extra drawings that we requested for the driveways. As a little side note, we still do need to have a workshop on this. I've talked with staff about doing that sometime in October, just to go over those couple of design issues that we wanted to spend a little more time on.
I think that's, and hopefully we'll have some feedback from Centerpoint by then.
Wrong project.
Oh, God, this is the Dorrance project. I'm not used to having such all these big things. Ready? So I'm looking for a motion and a second to negotiate the amendment, contract amendment number 1, not to exceed $44.75. Motion by Rick.
Second.
Second by David. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 6, discussion and consideration of Resolution 2021-26, authorizing the advertisement for sealed competitive bids for concrete work within the city of Meadows Place. This is something that we'll be going out to if the council approves, so we can be prepared to continue working on the streets and roads in the city next year. So I'm looking for a motion and a second to authorize staff to advertise for sealed competitive bids for concrete work within the city.
So move.
Motion by Kurt, second by Rick. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. That's a good one. Item 7, discussion and consideration of Resolution 2021-27, nominating candidates for the Fort Bend County Appraisal District Board of Directors, the people we all hate to love, or love to hate. Folks, there are, if you'll turn back to your Fort Bend CAD, you'll see that we have, under this resolution, listed the name of the following candidates to the Board of Directors. I was asked if I had anybody. I didn't have anybody that I wanted to bump. I do feel it's important for Meadows Place to be part of the voting procedure. We will not affect this one iota, other than have our name on the list of folks that responded. And I think it's important. They are listed. You've read them. There's Kim Keegee, the chair, Paul Stamatis, Vice Chair, Junior, the vice chair, Michael Rozelle, the secretary, and Pamela Gaskin is the director. Those will be our nominees if you are, and they have agreed to serve another term if nominated and elected.
Move to approve the slate
Motion by Rick.
of nominees.
Motion by Rick.
Second.
Second by David. Further discussion?
Just as a reminder for council and staff, there's always a lot of hate and discontent aimed at the CAD, simply because of people's appraisals and they feel they're unfair or whatever. It's actually state law that the appraisal district must be within 95% of the true values. If they are not, the school districts will be put on a probation and have funding pulled from them. So as much as the state representatives like to bash on the counties and cities about the appraisals and the appraisal districts, it's actually a state function and required by the state.
And that is so important, and I am not going to stand up for the CAD. They can stand up for themselves. However, we've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much for that, Rick. That's important for folks in the audience and listening to know. We're on item E, consent agenda. David spotted the typo. So I need a motion approving a correction on the special meeting that's listed as September 20, 2021 to be actually September 21st, 2021. So.
Move to approve as amended.
Motion to approve as amended. Second by Kelly. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. That moves us on to item F. Everybody slow down. For item audience comments, please feel free to step up. You get 3 minutes. Nobody? That's because you get special treatment, Terry. All right. That moves us on to item G for gone. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Kelly? Oh, by T. Do I have a second?
Second.
Very good, David. Seconded. All in favor? We are adjourned. Wow, this was a big meeting.